Hi, it's the MLM for the Soul channel. I do have a new topic for today. Before I begin, I just would like to say, may the words and expressions of my mouth and the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor and acceptance before you, Hashem. So this is the continuation of the series called Personal Stories and Practical Lessons to Learn and or Apply. This is part number 16. I just want to remind you to please look in the description, because what I do is I put like bullet points there about the stories and sometimes other information, and I do have other information on other links to other sites you can go on, other channels. And also, if you have any of your own stories you'd like to share, it would be great if you can in the comments below. So this is something that happened on February 11th in the English calendar, the Gregorian calendar of the year 25. I don't say the other part. I don't believe that's not our year, so I just abbreviate it. And usually, also, when I say, I don't usually say the whole word of the month, because it's not a Jewish month. I say I write FEB, but I'll just have to say that so that you know. So there was also the 13th of Shvat. I like to say the Hebrew date if I can remember it or I know what it is. So this is what happened to me in the span of about 2 hours when I went out shopping. So it's amazing what can happen that you don't realize in that short amount of time. So I went out to do some food shopping for Tu B'Shvat, which is coming up, and also for Shabbos Kodesh. The Kuvit Shabbos Kodesh, for the honor and the beauty of Shabbos Kodesh. So first thing I had to do was go to the post office. So I had to mail something, and I went inside. I had the postage on the envelope, but I decided I wanted to just go inside and give it to the people inside, to hand it to them. I just felt like I wanted to do that. So and I don't think I noticed anything outside when I went in. And why I'm saying this is, maybe if I had just dropped it off in the mailbox, I wouldn't have noticed anything. But on the way out, so I was exiting the post office to the right of where I was. And one thing I was sorry was I actually recorded a video, and I didn't put in the video to show that I was at the post office, like above, like where you see where it says post office or the door or something. But that's for something else that where I'm posting it eventually. But I noticed some ducks, which was very unusual. I guess to see ducks right outside the post office, and they were on the concrete there on the side. And I went over, and I decided, wow, this is a golden opportunity. When do you get to see ducks like this over here? So took out my phone and started filming them. I did a couple of videos, like almost 3-minute videos. One of them was just them kind of standing around and moving around a little, and then they started approaching where there was some actually vegetation. There was grass and actually flowers growing over there. So I did 2 separate videos, and then I also took some pictures of them. And they were very different kind of ducks. They were like black and maybe greenish feathers with some white in them, and also their little beaks or their bill, I don't know what to call it. I think it's a beak, was like a reddish color. So it was very interesting. One was bigger and one was small, but they're very cute. And didn't run away from me, weren't afraid. I didn't approach them. I wasn't like super close to them, but of course with cameras these days on your phones, you can zoom in more and get them. So that was really very unique opportunity, and I I didn't actually make them longer videos, but it's okay. I did 2 about almost 3-minute videos. So then from there, when you exit the post office where I was, you can only go one way. You can only go to the right. And then I actually had to go around the street to the other side, meaning it's like a 2-way. But if I wanted to go down to the light and have to wait for the light and then make a left turn and kind of like a U-turn. But as I was on the way out, there was actually a car in front of me. I think it was a white car, or white, not a regular car. I forget what they call those. Like not a minivan. I forget what it is. Anyway, and why I'm saying this is because, so as I was getting onto the road, and then I, moved over to the left-hand lane because there was no traffic. Because not soon after you kind of get out of the post office, there's actually a place where you can do a turnaround, kind of a U-turn, but not at a light. So I was able to get over too, and that person also did, and we were both waiting. I was behind this person, and then I guess the traffic was kind of picking up. It was more, I was trying to also get all the way into the right-hand lane, and I think she was, or the person was too. I think it was a she. But that lane seemed to be a little more congested. But then the person, I guess, noticed that was already in that lane and slowed down and let that person get in. And then they also let me get in. It was amazing. And thankfully, Baruch Hashem, there was no traffic coming between where we had turned from that turnaround to where we were, the lane we were going into. So that was really amazing. Just that point, and then you'll hear the rest. So I went to that store, did the shopping that I had to there, and I was going to get flowers. I wanted to get flowers for Tu B'Shvat and for Kavod Shabbos, and I looked at the flowers there, and I was thinking, I don't know, maybe not. And then I was going to another store, so I figured it's hot out, and they're going to sit in the car, and this and that, and none of them there really did it for me, so to speak. Some were nicer, some were more expensive, but I just was not, excited. So I decided not to get them there. So when I finished my shopping, I had some perishables also there, that I was concerned with. I guess that, because of the heat and everything. I mean, it wasn't like super hot, but it was like 80, I think like 80 degrees or something. But still, I figured, I have to maybe try to find a spot that's shady once I go to the next store. So I went to the second store, and when I first was pulling into it, I noticed that right there, and it was, it's not right where the store is, where there's parking kind of on the exterior. It's still in this little kind of like shopping area where there's some other stores, but when you first pull in, there's actually parking kind of on the right, and it was shady already there at that time of day. I think it was close to 4 o'clock or so when I first left, went to the post office, and then after that, by the time I got there, it was probably about 5 or something. So the sun was already in another direction, going down in the other direction. So it was great. So I said, okay, why don't I just park here where it's shady, and I'll walk a little. It's no big deal walking, and then you come back with a shopping cart. So I'd rather do that because then my stuff can stay in the car in the shade. So at least it has a better chance than if it was in the sun. And again, not knowing that that's what I was going to do, as far as the flowers went. But I just figured since they didn't really excite me so much, I would just wait and hopefully find it at this second store. So that was a blessing. So I pulled into that spot, and it was quiet area, shady and everything. So I went into the store, went around, did the shopping. I was going to get the flowers or look for the flowers kind of later. So I didn't feel like I had to do it right away because I wanted them to stay fresh in the water that they are while I do. So I did all the rest of the shopping for Tu B'Shvat and for Shabbos Kodesh. And then at the end, I went up to where the flowers were to see what they have. And I was kind of browsing around and looking and kind of seeing this, seeing that. And at first, nothing really hit at me as far as like what I was looking for. And then all of a sudden, I saw a bouquet, and I was like, wow, this is it. Like Hashem just brought me to the flowers. Literally, it's just like, that was it. I knew as soon as I saw them, and I knew that my mom would love them too. As soon as she sees them, I was just like, yes, this is the one. So I got them, and was really happy about that. And I'll actually show you them shortly. Just want to finish up with the story. So beautiful, just really beautiful colors, and everything about it was just really nice. So after that, after I finished shopping, then I left, and I had to exit the same way I came in. There's only like one way to do that in this little shopping place. Now with this exit, I had kind of a similar situation like leaving the post office. So for this one, you have to go where it's one way. It's a street that has quite a few lanes, and I needed to get all the way into the left-hand lane, so I needed to go all the way over there to make a U-turn again, but at the light. The issue is too is traffic. Like you can't always do it. There's too much traffic, or nobody lets you in, or etc. So again, I was behind another car, and I don't know if I was praying on it or thinking, Hashem, I don't remember for sure, but what happened is similar to what happened before. That's why this was just like unbelievable. Similar to what happened before, where the car stopped. So it was also where there was no traffic. This is like the reverse. There was no traffic like towards the left, but it was like towards the right, where a couple cars actually stopped and let that first person go, and then let me go. So I was able to get all the way over to the left-hand side. There was no traffic. The only thing is that then the sun was kind of in the setting mode, as you say, it was setting, and because it was like closer to 6, and it was blinding. So I had to put my hand up, and also put the I forget what that's called. Put it down in the front, to block it. It's like a mirror, but it has a thing that comes down. So it was like, whoa, like I Baruch Hashem, I was able to get to the lane without any problem, but I had to just kind of not look at the sun, because like right in front of my eyes. So where I was, it's a kind of a busy area, and the lights change. You have turning lanes and the regular. So I knew I wasn't gonna make it right then, but at least I got, Baruch Hashem, to the lane safe and sound, and the sun. And then finally, when it was the light had changed, and I was gonna make the turn, the U-turn. It was amazing, because Hashem made what happened then was like, as soon as I was pulling up, I saw the sun was behind some trees. So Baruch Hashem, it wasn't a problem making that U-turn. And then when I was driving, I could actually see the sun behind me. So that was just amazing. So just reflecting on that, I remember telling my mom all these things, and she says, "Oh, I'm tired," just before I even hear it. That all these things happen, and how Hashem, look how He's doing these different things and making this happen and that happen, and then the flowers, that I found something that was even more spectacular than I thought, and even for what I paid for it, not that I'm concerned about that, it was like probably worth a lot more in my opinion. They were beautiful, and some of them really smell. There's carnations, and some of the others, I don't know the names of them, but they smell some smell really nice. Sometimes you buy flowers and they don't have a smell. Like I've had that happen, or I've gone to places where you smell the flowers and they have no smell. So that was just a very interesting time of, like, again, a span of maybe like a couple hours. Maybe it was a little more, but not that long. So it's amazing what, if you realize, if you break down your day and you see everything that's going on and how Hashem's there, and you do this, you do that, you're in this place in this time, and and the thing with the cars stopping for me, and the 2 cars again, the same kind of very similar situation, and that should happen again, that I was able to do that, and make it home, make it back to my parents, home safe and sound. Baruch Hashem, finishing all the shopping, like within, I think I got back, it was 6 o'clock on the nose when I pulled the car in to the garage and parked it. And I think, like I said, I left a little bit maybe before 4, but I remember being at the post office, it was like 4 o'clock. So I just thought it very interesting, and like what things can happen that you don't even realize, where Hashem is moving things in a certain way to make them happen. So before I end the video, I am going to show the flowers as best as I can. I don't know if I can show the whole thing with the vase. I'm going to try here. It might be a little difficult. Try to get them in the camera a little bit here. It's hard. I can turn it around. It's just the way my computer is positioned. So I use the computer to record. So I can kind of show you a little bit here. And kind of try to get them. You're not going to see the whole vase. Sorry, it's kind of like weird because of the positioning I have. But it is beautiful. I'll try a little bit more here. You can see you're not going to get, unfortunately, you're not going to get to see the whole thing, and I can't really reposition the, where the camera is recording, because this is my setup, and I'm not in the camera, and I don't want to be in it, but, I guess you could see this is the carnations here, and if you can see the carnations. But I wish there was a way that I could, if there's a way that I could actually post pictures, I may actually do that in another section. I think you can do that on the channel. So I will try to do that as well. And I hope and pray that we'll all merit to live and see the coming of Mashiach. speedily in our days, and the rebuilding of our final and everlasting Beis Hamikdash. Amen. And thanks for watching.